Once upon a time, in a peaceful valley surrounded by rivers and green hills, there lived a 28-year-old young woman named Elena. Elena was a kind-hearted person, but inside her mind there was always a storm. She thought too much about everything. If she remembered her past, she felt sadness. If she thought about the future, she felt fear. Her mind was always full of noise, questions, worries, and regrets. Because of this, Elena could not sleep peacefully at night. She could not laugh freely with her friends, and slowly she began to feel tired of life itself. One evening, sitting under a tree, Elena whispered to herself, "Why can't I just be happy? Why is my mind never quiet?" In her village, people often spoke about a wise old sage named Aaron, who lived deep in the forest. He had once been a great teacher in the city, helping people heal their minds. But now, in his old age, he lived a simple life in a small wooden hut near the river. Many said that people who met him returned home with new hope and peace. Elena, desperate for calm, decided, "I must go and see this sage. Maybe he can help me too." After a long walk through the forest paths, she finally reached the hut. The evening sun was painting the sky golden. On the porch, Sage Aaron sat silently, his eyes closed, breathing slowly like he was part of the wind itself. Elena stepped forward and spoke softly. "Grandfather, my mind never rests. Thoughts chase me all day. I feel heavy and lost. Please, can you teach me how to find peace?" The sage slowly opened his eyes, smiled warmly, and said, "So, you have come to empty your mind. Very well, child. I will give you a task." He led her to a small courtyard. There he took a clay bowl and filled it with water to the very top. Not a single drop more could fit. He handed the bowl to Elena and said, "Take this bowl, walk across the village and return here. But remember, not a single drop of water must fall." Elena looked at him in surprise. "This? How will this bring me peace?" she asked. The sage only smiled and said, "Do it, and you will understand." Elena carefully held the bowl with both hands. She stepped onto the village path. The village was alive with noise. Children ran around laughing and playing. Merchants called out to sell their goods. Dogs barked and women chatted near the well. But Elena kept her eyes fixed only on the bowl. Step by step, slowly, carefully, she walked. Her heart raced, but her focus never left the water. She heard sounds around her, but she did not turn her head. She smelled food being cooked, but she did not stop. Finally, after walking the long path, she returned safely to the sage. Not a single drop had fallen. Excited, she said, "Grandfather, I did it!" "I did not spill any water." The sage looked at her kindly and asked, "That is good. But tell me, did you see the children playing?" Elena shook her head. "No." "Did you hear the merchants calling?" Again she said, "No." The sage smiled gently. "Did you notice the sunset behind the hills? Or the birds flying above?" Elena paused, then lowered her head. "No, I didn't. I saw nothing else, only the bowl." The sage leaned closer and spoke softly. "That, child, is the secret you were searching for. When you hold your mind in the present moment, just as you held the bowl, then there is no space for regret of the past or fear of the future. At that moment, your mind is quiet. At that moment, you are free." Elena's eyes widened. She felt something move inside her heart. She understood. All her life, her thoughts had been like spilled water, running everywhere, uncontrolled. But now she realized. Peace is not found outside. Peace is already inside. It comes when we empty our mind of extra noise and live only in the present. From that day, Elena practiced the art of quietness. When negative thoughts about her past tried to rise, she told herself, "Those days are gone." When worries about the future came, she whispered, "The future is not here yet. She learned to bring her focus back to the bowl of her present moment, whether it was breathing, eating, or simply walking under the sky. Slowly her heart became light. She began to smile again. She laughed with her friends, not with worry, but with joy. At night, she could finally sleep peacefully. The storm in her mind was gone. Her family noticed the change. Her friends admired her calm. Elena had truly become a different person, peaceful, steady, and full of life. One evening, she returned to the sage and bowed deeply. "Grandfather, thank you. I understand now. To empty the mind is to live in peace. And peace is not somewhere far away. It was always inside me." The sage smiled, closed his eyes again, and whispered, "Remember, child, the world will always make noise, but if you hold the bowl of your mind steady, nothing can disturb you." And from that day, Elena carried peace with her wherever she went. Empty your mind of past regrets and future fears. Live in the present moment, and you will discover the peace that was always within you.